and all the great work she is doing with the homeless, and she will tell you all of it.
Hello everybody, my name is Kassandra Santiago and I am the co-executive director of development for Las Semillas. I am a queer, non-binary Mexican Puerto Rican femme. I wanted to start off by saying, in a perfect world, we should not be here today. Nonprofits would close their doors because issues have been solved and problems wouldn't equal profit or salaries. We wouldn't have to rally for obvious solutions and our humanity. But that isn't the world we find ourselves in today. I recognize that Orange County is home to a plethora of programs and resources dedicated to addressing and alleviating homelessness. Yet it's disheartening to see that few initiatives are genuinely aimed at eradicating the crisis. All organizations united to end homelessness must understand that big nonprofits shouldn't be the only ones celebrated for their contributions when the majority of funds have to see the top before they get to the bottom, if they all make it to the bottom. And that is shame. And that is the sick reality that this is across any niche, that if a problem is solved, then salaries are gone. While many of these initiatives do bring hope and more than most in resources, we often find majority only served as band-aids on a much larger issue. We have the power to advocate for substantial change, higher wages, harm reduction, increased access to affordable housing, restrictions on short-term rentals like Airbnbs, a more equitable healthcare landscape, and a repeal of laws that criminalize homelessness. The homelessness crisis is not an inevitable fate. It is a consequence of choices made by greedy elites across both parties. This isn't merely a local issue. It's a systematic problem that requires our collective attention. To those in that building or out on your floats today, whether you are policymakers or directly involved with them, now is not the time to give excuses or mere accolades. You are public servants, and it is crucial that you grasp the responsibility you hold. Even if you lack direct jurisdiction, you possess the power to advocate meaningful policy change that can benefit all members of our community, including Black, POC, differently abled, and our queer siblings who face discrimination in resource allocation or distribution within the systems that do focus on unhoused populations. Let us unite in our efforts to demand more than just temporary fixes. It will take all of us to say that this isn't enough anymore. There has been a 155% increase in unsheltered homelessness since 2002 per the PIT count in 2025 by Homeless Service Network. Children, family, and people do not have to live like this, especially in a blue county. We can't keep covering them in hope and band-aids. We can't let organizations cash in on our livelihood or dictate what the underserved need when they are far removed from that reality. Every day, each of us is closer to being unhoused than being rich. Yet many folks are profiteering off that very reality. But do they have the power to let power go by making systematic changes, even if it meant the problem solved would end their salaries? We have communally led organizations like REAL, The People's Kitchen, Las Semillas, and other grassroots groups that are here today that work tirelessly on the ground, often overlooked to the county despite their impactful outreach. Their efforts deserve just as much recognition and do it on a nearly 100% volunteer basis, yet are scoffed at when coming to the table for our ragtag demeanor. But for our community, by community organizing, mobilizing, and initiatives is the start to the solution. So let's strive for sustainable, systematic development and changes in Central Florida that uplift everyone so that problems can be solved and that solutions can be maintained. Together we can. And please, if you live in West Orlando, please find me to fill out a survey to help us, Las Semillas, go ahead and build movement and better programming for folks and residents in Pine Hills, Florida. Thank you.